Fun fact is, I'm 5'6", but I say I'm 5'7". Row house sit up. So I'm a real estate developer. My name is Brian. I'm kind of on the evil side of things, so I'm not an architect. But I'm here to talk about how the car destroyed America. It's a fun topic. It's actually kind of boring. It's kind of preaching to the choir at this point. Yeah, the car destroyed America. Sure. Actually, that's not even quite true. Cars are kind of cool. I drive one. And then I'm like, the effect of zoning laws. That's what I'm going to talk about tonight, because zoning laws really actually dictate what our cities are like, how our parking ratios are, how annoying it is I have to negotiate with people to get parking available for places in Lawrenceville, and parking's not necessary in Lawrenceville because we have parking, we can't have a good public transportation system, blah blah blah. That's really technical. That's boring. So I'm like, all right, let me get to the heart of what I do, which is real estate 101, which is how do you build a movie theater. And like, it's a lot of spreadsheets and a lot of begging for money and consolidating with, getting the community on board and everything like that. And I mean, more people are interested in the end product than the process itself. So I'm like, oh, a fun topic to be This is really what I want to talk about tonight, how I now look at rap musicals. But when I came down to sitting about what I wanted to talk about, I was like, all right, what inspires me as a real estate developer in Lawrenceville to build Lawrenceville? Hopefully you've been to one of my buildings. If not, you should go. There's a movie theater down in Lawrenceville now. How do we spend our lives on a day-to-day basis, but more importantly, the in-between time, not from where we're, not for where we're trying to go to, but how we get there and that wasted time in between. That's what I love, actually. I see a few people in the audience I see on the street every day, which is nice. So this is a quote I made because I was trying to get a quote together. It's a famous quote of what I really care about. When I was a kid, like a yogi. Exactly. You can quote this. Basically saying that I want to build a place where I would want a vacation to myself. When I was a little kid, my parents are, and like their friends go to Europe and they're like, oh, Italy's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I wish, we walk the streets and drink wine. This is where I grew up. This is what my parents aspired to after going to Italy. This is South Florida. That's actually my old neighborhood. This was if you're rich. If you're rich in South Florida, this is what you aspire to. These homes actually go for like $3 to $4 million each. Great way to spend your money. Actually, when I was a kid, this is what I wanted in my life. And then I started thinking more about that thought, like why do we go to Europe to see what we want to live like, and then we come back to our place and we're like, wait a minute, we chose to build this. We chose to build suburbia, not because the car destroyed America, because we actually chose it. And even today we're building our city in Pittsburgh because we're choosing to build the way we're building. But we still go on vacation to all these cities. This is someone's tourist photo. It's my favorite city. I stole their tourist photo online. But Lisbon's phenomenal. San Francisco meets Tunisia. And every time I go there, I'm like, oh, they're really hilly with narrow streets, and it's old, and they have public transportation. When I was a kid, I went to the Audubon Society meeting when I was like 15. I met the developers of this, and it's kind of what got me into real estate development. This is Seaside, Florida. It's the first new urbanist development. It started a whole revolutionary. I'm sure you guys are familiar. I've seen it in the Truman Show, and this is what's become today, new urbanism. It's a great idea, terrible execution. Seaside, Florida is a terrible place to go visit now. It really doesn't work, and I spend my nights and weekends thinking about how do I make Lawrenceville a place that if I was in Europe, I would want to go visit. And so when I started thinking about the things we build and the area, and so the 9th Ward is the central Lawrenceville, and that's where I live, and I feel like making a walkable, cool community is all about not caring about like efficiency and urban design. I hate urban design. So like more and more I think about it, the more I'm like, this is efficient, good urban design. It clogs traffic, and parking's right next, great for tailgating. And then the more and more I think about it over time, I'm like, you know what? Good urban design is when it becomes really inefficient. So here's a comparison. This is what I would do. You move the parking aside. have the sports stadium here. This block right here becomes prime real estate. This is where I make my money. What you do is, this inefficient plan, it actually spreads traffic out, so it doesn't make it as annoying at the end of the time. You create a valuable space. You make it a walkable place. You created a cool plaza. Sweet, that's a word I use. And the more and more I think about these things, they're like, you know, if I designed Lawrenceville on paper, it would be a terrible place to live. And then, so what I ended up doing is I come up with ideas of stupid, crazy, whacked out ideas. This is what Row House Cinema was supposed to be. It was going to be a hotel, a restaurant. You know, I had a chef even lined up. And then it turns out hotel financing is really difficult. But this is what I ended up doing. This is one of the many projects that we've done in Lawrenceville. 6 apartments. One of my tenants who lives above this is here. Hey, we got a restaurant, Smoke, opening up in a couple months eventually. We got a beer store and a movie theater. Financing this was fun. But what the, this is from the corn festival I held. But this is Row House. This is Row House Cinema. It's small. It's crazy. It's nothing like anything that you're supposed to build. Every movie theater that is being built in Pittsburgh as a whole is looking at this as a model, but like, we were told 150 seats is minimum, things like that. And you just have to forget about these kinds of models and designs and think about things that are inefficient, think about things that are small, things that are compact. And you end up creating something that's more interesting in some place you want to visit. So I'm trying to think of, my next building is huge. I'm trying to think of 9,000 square foot of retail to do in there. And so if you have any ideas and crazy, wacky ideas, think about it. No orgasm stuff.